Hi, this is Kristen Pauch-Nolin, and I am doing a drawing exercise today as part of artsPlace's series of instructional videos for the community. So the drawing exercise I'm going to do is about pattern. So we see pattern in all sorts of art, in all sorts of genres. So if we think about tiles, so ceramic tile design, textile design, and all sorts of other applications. So the materials you'll need to do this exercise are a pad of paper. I have watercolor paper, but it can be any kind of good quality paper, a pencil, a ruler, something that is circular. So this is almost 2 inches in diameter. It's just a little container, and then a selection of pencil crayons. And that's really all you need to get started. So what we're going to do is start off with our ruler and make a line about halfway across our drawing paper. So this is on the horizontal, and then I'm going to do one down the vertical. So if you are super particular, you can measure that out so that it's exactly half and half. Then what you do is you take your circle. So if you have a compass, you can use a compass. I just found a circular container to use. So I'm putting the middle of the circle right in at the point which my 2 lines intersect and drawing a circle. And then I'm going to drop my circle down to putting this edge against where the circles intersect, and I'm going to draw another circle. And then I'm going to do another circle again where the circles intersect. And then over here, again, trying to line it up. And again over here, and line it up. So as I say, my circle is about 2 inches in diameter. But again, I'm going a little bit more free form. So after I've created these 5 circles as a little pattern, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more lines. So at the far edge of this circle, I'm going to draw another line straight down my page, and I'm going to do another line on the other side, trying to make it as vertically straight as I can. And then I'm going to do the same on the bottom, this time horizontally. And I'm going to do the same thing at the top, horizontally. Okay. Now, at each point where the lines intersect, I'm going to make a circle. And one there. And one there. And what should happen is that those circles actually touch the original circle that you started with in the middle. And then you're just going to repeat the process. So you're going to make 5 or 4 more circles around each one of the circles that you've just drawn. So on each side, I'm going to make a circle, and I'm going to make another circle over here, and I'm going to make another circle over here. And you're going to repeat this pattern over and over and over again until your entire page is full of the pattern. For the next one we're going to do, again, based on a pattern, but this one's just lines. So for this exercise, all you need is your pencil and your ruler. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a grid. So I'm just using the width of my ruler because that's easier. So I'm going to make squares all the way down. Excuse me, lines all the way down. And then I'm going to turn my page and I'm going to do the same this way. So this is the foundation of this grid is the foundation of your pattern. So after you've created the grid, much like we did with starting off with one circle, which was the foundation of that pattern, you can really sort of build on this pattern. I'm not going to add circles to this pattern, but you certainly could. Okay, so once you get your grid down, then you can start kind of playing around. So I'm going to create a diagonal. There to there. And then I could keep going and create some more diagonals. Maybe I want one there. And not all of the squares have to have diagonals. So this one does, or maybe I decide that I do want them to have diagonals, like so. And then maybe I just want some of them to have triangles. So you can see by just adding different lines at different spots, you can start to make some really interesting patterns that are squares or triangles. Do a square there and maybe a diamond there. And you can continue on adding these diagonal lines, leaving certain squares open, or you could do diamonds throughout the pattern. So I've finished my 2 patterns. I left this one a little bit more open so that you can see sort of how it's developing, but I would finish it edge to edge, corner to corner, and then there's my linear grid. Here's some other examples of how the linear designs can look. And then, so these ones are the circles, and this one's a little bit of a tighter grid. So I'll go back to the ones that I did. So I'm going to start with the circles. So now you get to have some fun with color. So I would recommend not using more than 3, but if you really want to sort of push yourself or challenge yourself, then absolutely you can do that. So then you start thinking about how you want to sort of organize your design. So you'll see that they look a little bit like coloring book pages. So that's kind of fun. If you're working with some other people that you're at home with, you could do the pattern and then bring it to somebody else, let's say, to do one of the colors, and then somebody else could do another color and somebody else could do another color. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this. So the way that I'm going to approach it is I'm going to start with one color and then establish the pattern and then start adding in the other colors. So I'm looking in these particular circles that have these sort of flower petals, and I've decided that I think that I'm going to make those red. Maybe what I'll do is I do that one, or maybe what I'll do is I'll do this one blue or purple. I'll do this one purple. And then the diamonds, I'm going to do green. And I'm going to continue that color pattern throughout my design. So I'm going to put that one aside for a minute, keep my colors together. And now I have this one. And so this one is a series of rectangles and triangles. So again, I'm going to stick with 3 colors, but this time I'm going to make it a monochrome. So a monochrome is when you work with different colors in the same family. So this is blue. So again, I'm going to figure out some kind of a pattern that includes these 3 colors. So I like these rectangles. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with these small rectangles, and I'm going to just ignore the triangles within those rectangles. I'm just going to do a rectangle grid, or a rectangle pattern, I mean. And then maybe I'll switch blues. So I'm not sure if this is showing in the video, but that's a slightly different color of blue. It's a little bit lighter. It's actually got a little bit more gray in it. And then I'll go to my last blue, which is a little bit more of a sky blue. This one could use a bit of a sharpen. All right. And then I would go back to the original blue. and so on and so on. Now, beside each one of these sort of rectangular boxes, have a square with triangles. So maybe what I want to do is in these boxes, oops, that one broke. I'll use one of these. I will do this blue. Like so. And then this blue on the opposite side. Okay, so I added some more color, but I wanted to leave this one a little bit more open so you could see what I was doing. So I, again, repeated the red, the purple, and then the green in the middle, so that you could see one that was a little bit more finished. This is one that my daughter finished. So again, this is just repeated circles. So she chose red, blue, and green as well, but some different versions of those colors. So you can see one in progress and one completed. And then this is the one that I did with the grid. So I took some liberties here. I decided to change the pattern as I went. And then finally, if you did want to go back in, I quite liked some of the lines. So some of them you can see in white, but I also thought from time to time I might want to go in and put a little bit of line back in. So you could do this with a marker, you could do this with the same medium, whatever medium you're using, but you can go back in and reestablish some line, again, just to give it a bit of a different look. So the key here is pattern and repeating pattern. So you can do this in watercolor, in pencil crayon, if you have designer's markers, if you have watercolor markers. It doesn't matter the medium, it doesn't matter the colors that you choose, and as I said before, you can also do this in groups. So somebody could do the pattern, and then maybe somebody else fills it in. So thank you. I hope that you have enjoyed this drawing and pattern exercise, and please check out all of the other exercises that artsPlace has posted in the community, and we'd love to hear back from you. So if you do these art making exercises, we'd love to see the results. So thank you.